Good day and welcome to your favorite program, The Conversation, coming to you from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Nelson Ekujumi, and I have with me in the studio today as my partner in The Conversation, Comrade Ajayi Popola, popularly called Pope. He's a farmer, a social engineer, as well as an entrepreneur. Comrade Popola, you are welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yes, today on the program, we are going to look at some topical issues, and topmost of our discussion for today that we are going to converse upon is the rising cost of goods and services, the economic, downturn. We have seen in the last couple of weeks how prices of goods have risen beyond our estimation, and a lot of times, even though one acknowledges the reality of the economic, times, some products, you want to ask, how are these products affected by the naira-dollar, exchange
rate?
For example, just last week, I traveled to Igbokoda in Ondo State, and in coming back, I wanted to buy this yam flour called pupuru.
Cassava flour.
Cassava flour, sorry, yeah, called pupuru. And the woman said a bag is 28,000 naira. And I was like, we used to buy this thing 16,000, 18,000. That was on a Saturday. The woman now said she sold it 22,000 naira.
The previous week.
Not the previous week, that same week on a Tuesday. So on a Saturday, it had become 28. And I was like, what is the reason? She said that she doesn't know that is the price they gave it to them. And one of them now came up and said part of the reasons is that before, to go to the farm to harvest some of these crops, you need maybe 2 or 3 able-bodied men. You can even send one person to harvest whatever. But he said, but because of the security threats, you need an army of people to follow you to the farm so that when you go to the farm, you can come back safely. So for me, even though that explanation made a lot of sense, because if you have to employ people to secure you to the farm, definitely those people must have been paid for their security services, and that cost will come to the cost of goods,
yes,
and services. So for some products, I don't know if it tallies, because I like I stated earlier on, you are a farmer. You can give us that experience as well.
You see, there are many factors. There are many factors that is leading to
high cost of
food, especially.
Okay. Food inflation, yeah.
Although that some of them are, some cannot be explained. But like even the analysis of that woman, she pointed to security.
Yes.
So today in Nigeria, for farmers to go to farm, is becoming, very almost impossible.
It's becoming an horror.
Yes, in some places, that farmers could no longer go to farm freely to farm. So, and that hinders the
food production. And affects the prices.
So, if you analyze all of these things, you take production, then you take processing, then you take transportation.
Transportation, yeah.
So, if we start with transportation, the moment the subsidy on fuel was removed,
the cost of transportation
shot up.
Yeah.
So, to move your cassava from the farm
to the processing
point,
yeah,
the cost has in fact tripled,
yeah,
even more than tripled.
Yeah.
Then a cost of labor too, because they will tell you that because this thing is not there, so the cost of labor has risen.
Yeah.
Then the cost of processing, has gone up. Then if you don't even go back to the production now,
yeah,
about 2 years ago, to plow an hectare of land is about 18,000 naira. But today, at least with our own side here, it's about 45,000.
Is it the
No, because they will tell
tractor?
you that, no, the tractor,
Yeah.
the diesel, the price of diesel.
diesel? Okay.
The price of diesel has
Yeah,
gone up.
Has gone up.
So some of them will say, okay, buy me diesel. I will charge you for just
For
the
the
cost
labor.
of the operator and the little this thing.
Yeah.
And by the time you buy them maybe 10 liters, they will tell you that one is not enough. So it is better you just
You
give
pay-
them
you do the
turnkey,
total
just
arrangement.
total arrangement.
Yes.
So we can say that, you know, security has impacted, in fact, negatively on the production of food generally. Anything you can think of. So people, of course, you know, most of the food items you eat here comes from the north.
Yes.
And you know, because of the effect of banditry, kidnapping, and what have you.
Yes.
Then, of course, the issue of Hada, whatever, again,
Yes.
where the S-men will, you know, you will invade them, people's farm, you know, destroy and what have you.
Yeah.
So that one is there.
Okay.
So there are many factors.
Okay, but Pope, as much as I agree that there are so many factors responsible for the rising cost of goods and services, just some few days back, the president ordered the release of grains from the strategic reserves. And for me, I think that is a short-term solution. I think majorly, is it out of place for our government for the federal government to mobilize the 36 states? I was thinking in my own corner, like for example, let this federal government mobilize the 36 state governments and let us identify the agricultural prowess of each state.
Yes.
Because a lot of times you are coming, okay, look at, for example, there was a time I went to Kogi, and on coming back, you see heaps of agricultural produce being gathered on the roads. They are looking for vehicles to convey. Yeah. Somebody at a program just this week, somebody said to convey a trailer of cow from the north to Lagos. He said formerly it was about 450,000 naira. He said, but presently it's almost about 1.82 million.
Yes, of course.
Because the cost of transportation has shot up.
Yes, now
I think if we have I think the government investment in the railway, I think we need to explore and have a conversation with farmers, middlemen, people in the agricultural chain.
Value chain.
Yes.
You see,
to explore cheaper means, and the government has a bigger role to play.
You see, unfortunately, you know, the type of structure we run, you know, this our centralized centralized system. Yeah. The federal government has no land.
Absolutely. Land belongs to the state by law.
By law, land belongs to the state.
Yeah.
So it does mean that farming, whatever, what it should be, the priority
should be domiciled in the state. Yeah.
While, of course, government can encourage in terms of policy, then interventions.
Subventions, yeah.
So you mentioned release of grains.
Strategic
grains, what have you. I don't know when it will reach the market. I don't know
the medium through which it will be distributed.
The medium through which it will be distributed.
Yes.
I don't know. You know, there are a whole lot of, you know, issues around it.
Yes.
That at the end of the day, it will not be like the previous government interventions. That only just few people will corner it. Then the whole thing will end up in some people's warehouses. And at the end of the day, you know, you remember here in Lagos, during the period, when you used to have lake rice.
Yes.
Yes, good intervention, where a bag of rice then was 12,000.
12,000, yeah.
So you could go to, you know, the
selling point.
Point. You know, if you cannot buy a whole bag, two of you can pay 6,000 naira, take one. But, you know, at the initial stage, it was running like that. Then, towards the tail end, you have a situation where some people will go and take bags of it, you know, pay for it, take it to their warehouse.
Rebag it.
Some go and rebag.
As foreign rice.
And they'll go and rebag as foreign rice or whatever rice.
Sell it at far above the price.
Far above the price. In fact, it got to a point that the rice found its way to even the eastern
Part of the
part
country.
of the country, where they will move it en masse, then go and rebag and,
but
no, wait.
Okay.
So I said, so this strategic reserve, this grain to be released, the government should come up with clear strategy to distribute, that everybody will know when it will be released, where is this being released to. If the state Ministry of Agric will undo it, let us know who are responsible and who to be held responsible. So that is for the
strategic grain reserve, the release of the
then but there are other interventions.
Okay.
Of course, okay, let us take Lagos as an example again.
Yes.
Lagos has built one of the biggest rice mill in Nigeria.
In Mota, yes.
In Mota.
Yeah.
Lagos has no land, to cultivate.
To cultivate paddy. Or
Paddy
rice.
Paddy rice.
Yeah.
Okay, now because the land we have here, of course, not being utilized to the maximum.
Okay.
If I even they want a Badagry, Epe, Axis can grow a whole tons of rice. But again, it is expected that there will be a kind of collaboration between Lagos and other states.
No, as you speak, as you speak, I'm aware that Lagos State has collaboration with some states with regards to some agricultural produce. But the major problem we have as a people, which we have identified over the years, is that when issues occur, instead of us to recognize that we should first of all look at those issues internally before putting our eyes, it has gotten to the stage that all our economic problems will focus only on Abuja, forgetting that the states, the local government have a primary responsibility. You talk about land ownership now.
Yes, no.
The states have the land.
Yes, no.
If the states say, okay, I have 60,000 acres, I want to give 5,000 to each farmer, it builds on the state to liaise with the federal government, because the federal government has a higher responsibility in terms of intervention. The collaboration between the federal government and international agencies is always harmonious.
You see here. Don't let us go to that. You don't even need to go to that route.
Okay.
You see, we're talking about, I talk about collaboration.
Yes.
Yeah. Between Lagos and other states. And other states can also, collaborate, in terms of production.
Yeah.
Yes, so we have land in Ondo State, up to Kwara State, Kogi State, everywhere, for instance. Okay, we can say the biggest cost in farming is land clearing. The land clearing.
To clear the land for farming activities.
Yes, to clear the land.
That's the biggest problem facing farmers now.
Yes, to remove the trees,
scrubs and what have you.
Yes, and what have you. Yeah. Land clearing, where you need bulldozer, that's the biggest cost.
But also, don't forget that.
Wait, hold on.
No, wait.
Just let me explain.
Okay,
this.
Go ahead.
Let me explain.
Go ahead.
See, where state government and maybe the federal now can come in, you need to bring in bulldozer for the purposes of agricultural this thing. But the other day, during the past government in Ogun State, they brought bulldozer supposedly to clear land for farmers and what have you. Before we know it, we were told that the bulldozers have been deployed to go and clear somewhere for airports and what have you. So to clear land, if government can clear the land, for farmers in each state,
it will aid the farmers in accessing the land.
So all you now need is, you need tractor. So if you have maybe 10,000 hectares of land cleared somewhere, for specific purposes, Osun, Ondo, for instance, Ekiti, if forests are cleared for cocoa and whatever production, cocoa,
or palm kernel or what have you.
Palm tree, whatever production.
Tree,
we are ready to allocate to interested farmers, maybe smallholders farmers, 4 hectares per farmer, the ones who have no capacity to take care of. While other big farmers can take 500, 5,000.
No, there must be ceiling. There must be ceiling.
Yeah, ceiling
so that people don't appropriate more than.
So it starts from, allocating land for agriculture, acquire land for the purpose of it. In fact, most of the land acquired in Lagos has been taken over.
They have become residential
and what have
estates.
been,
They have become residential.
and government has not, and even to access land is a problem here. So we're not even looking at Lagos now, but even other states. So each state, you talk about economic advantage, the produce where you have economic advantage.
Yes.
If Ogun is going to face
maybe yam, for example.
We know that, okay.
You maybe tomato. You maybe
so
onions.
You if it's cocoa.
Yes.
If it is palm tree.
What is big government intervention in those areas?
So the intervention is land clearing, land preparation, seedlings, and inputs. So that is where government, if we are serious about food security and we are serious about, feeding ourselves. But the other day, the president said we're going to be net exporter of food.
But Pope, one of the greatest problems that has been identified over the years has been a major issue in agriculture is the accessibility to land, the land ownership. Do we have a situation in the states whereby people can easily access land?
Yes, that's
another question.
You see, access to land. Yes, of course. Land belongs to families.
Okay.
So you can negotiate with the families.
Okay.
Governments, for public interest can acquire land.
Okay.
And say, okay, family A, B, C, D, we are acquiring your land. Then appropriate compensation paid
to them.
Appropriate compensation paid to them. And then you can even get their buy-in. So you too can be part of this thing,
Allow for peace.
Yes, allow for peace. So, but government has the power to acquire any land for public interest.
Well, Pope, we cannot exhaust this.
No, certainly.
This discussion.
So, but what is important? Food security is very key. Even if we cannot solve any problem in the world, let us feed ourselves first.
And the Yorùbá have a saying that ebi kì í wọnú kí kan mi wọ̀ tẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ebi bá dẹ̀ kúrò lọ́rọ̀ ìṣẹ́bùṣe. That's the Yorùbá proverb for you. Well, we hope those at the end of our affairs are watching this program and listening and taking notes from Nigerians who are desirous that getting out of this food crisis is a collective responsibility. We have our role to play. We cannot continue to hold government responsible. We also recognize that as citizens, bringing down the cost of food cost is a joint responsibility. Farmers or middlemen who are taking advantage. As we speak, we had information that some persons have stored agricultural products waiting for seasons where they can sell it at exorbitant prices. That has been with us from time immemorial. It is the responsibility of the state to rein in such Shylock exploiters so that we can all have peace. Well, that is where we want to call it a day for this stanza of the program. Please continue to watch TV 360, the conversation on TV 360. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.